trick somebody, you can fool them, you can distract them, you can do all kind of evil. You know, you can hurt him, you can destroy his efforts. But that don't mean that Allah has given you any power over that person. You know, Allah can destroy you, and most likely when you do wrong with a conscience to do wrong, most likely that's a stain you're going to have a real hard time to remove. And you may condemn yourself to hell. And a lot of people that I know that were like that didn't respect Imam Muhammad for who he was, that they in hell. And they've done a lot of evil. But what we have to do is not give them credit and not give that evil credit for the circumstances that we're in. We're in the circumstances that we're in because of our actions that we take. You see? So if we stay steadfast and patient, things change overnight. Because everything that happened in my life, it wasn't a promise to me. You think it was, but you never saw my life through my eyes. Seeing my life through my eyes, I saw things wasn't promised to me. I can't explain to you why. So every time something good happened to me, I think it's the mercy of Allah, I'll be in tears. I'm like, man, Allah bless me. Man, I'm blessed. I'm blessed like nobody. You can line up how many kids I went to school, grammar school, young, old, and it's not no ego stuff. So I don't care about being the president or imam. I don't fight with people when they tell me what I ain't. You know, I fight them for telling me what I am. Just call me something that I say that I'm not, then you gonna see the real me. But I don't care about you telling me what I'm not. I ain't gotta be nothing. I'm not. I'm less than whatever it is you think that I'm not. I'm less than that. Because I know what Allah and what His power is. You see? And in the scope of Allah's power, we less than nothing. You can't count enough zeros in the negative. You can't count enough zeros in the negative when it comes to who you are, what you are. So your real power, false power, is the power that you can do the work for Satan, the work of the devil. And we can't do that because you're going to be in hell with him. And most of us, that's what we do that. We say, well, I can't change Allah's plan, so I'm going to make mischief everywhere I go. I'm going to slander, I'm going to cause corruption and do evil. But you're not holding us back. I wish you could line up all the people that have been jealous of me in my life since I was a little boy. And they have tried to make trouble, lied and slandered and created all kinds of chaos and confusion for me. Line them all up. And show them me. And watch them submit. They might die of heart attacks on the spot if they see me and see if they thought that was an effort, they would make it to try to hurt or take from me. You know why? Because I never wanted nothing for me. In my life, I never wanted nothing for me. Allah gives me happiness in my heart, in my spirit, in my life, and gives me beauty and gifts and everything more than I would ever even. I don't even pray. When I was young, I didn't pray for material. I never prayed for nothing material. But Allah gave me material things and give me freedom that I never knew I could ever have. It's just amazing. And I think it's Allah, because I'm asking Allah why, I think He's making me an example of what the possibilities are if we really did for ourselves. You see, you can have the freedom I have. You think I envy Farrakhan? You think I envy Don Elijah Muhammad? You think I envy Imam Warithudeen Mohammed? When you're a servant, you think the slave on the plantation envied his master? Do you think all of them were sad and oppressed? Yeah. And when you accept something for what they are, that's why the white man was so puzzled by us. They said, hey, these people, we treat them less than that rat over there in the corner, you know, and we kill them as quick as we might kill that rat. And he know it. But why he still happy? He ain't even got a woman. He can't even have a woman because we took care of him before puberty. Did y'all know that? Most of us, they took care of us before we could even think about what a man was. That's right. And I got a cat from the shelter, and I'm like, man, I love that cat. I've had cats my whole life. But my son named him Catboy because we had a girl cat, so I said that's a boy cat, so his name became Catboy, and then came. So now we call him Catboy. We could have done better than that. but Catboy, I love that cat. That cat is so good. He ain't a man, but he's the nicest cat. And then I thought about it. I said, man, we was like Catboy. we probably was nice and gentle and loving. Cat boy, when I came in, it's like when we walked into the shelter, they had all the cats stacked in cages and animals and stuff. When I walked into the animal cruelty or whatever, I forget what they call it, animal welfare place, he looked like he was reaching out. He was reaching out the cage, but it looked like he saw me from across the room. And the closer I got to him, and he wasn't meowing or nothing. He was real gentle. He was like, "Come over here." And that cat, he was attracted to me. But I'm not as big a fan of cats, and I don't think that I'm sitting on my couch rubbing the cat off. I don't do that. I keep it in the basement. Because I'm one of them type of people, when I say something, I mean it. And some people try to test me. They say, "Oh, you're going to be back playing with them cats." They stay in the basement. There's been some years. It'll be a lot more years before they grow in my house. Because I told my wife, I said, "Y'all bring something with fur in the house that can't feed itself. That's y'all." I grew up with cats. We had one time, I'm ashamed to say, how many cats was on in the house with us when we was kids. I had no power over it, but I was like, I don't know nothing with fur that can't feed itself. I said, don't tell me the kids can't feed themselves. That's going to be a problem. I'm just kidding. But the animals, I was serious about that. I said, we bought a new house. We built it from the ground up. I had say in all of the way it was faced, where the wood would be on the floors, and the carpet. So we had some input on it. So my vision was a house without animals. And I don't understand people spend most of their day walking behind an animal waiting on this to poop. I ain't got nothing against Well, allows my witness, man. Go to the gym, it's good exercise, or just walk the neighborhood. If you nosy, walk the neighborhood, walk around with sunglasses on. People don't know you being nosy. I can't walk behind an animal waiting on it to poop. I just think if your kids did that, you'd walk behind them and wait on them to poop. You wouldn't love them as much, I don't think. Especially if they're as big as some of them now, they have in my neighborhood. I don't get it. I don't get it. I would put a diaper on it. And I'll pay somebody to change it. I don't know. But praise be to Allah. Something, and it was something else he said. Oh, this is another thing. Imam did tell me, one day, Imam Muhammad, he knows the power of psychology. If you just say something like, your mother named you, or gave you that name, or if you say something like, I was gonna name you, I know he named Muhammad the first chance he changed his name from Macmillan, which his mother named him. But I could tell he was disappointed. Because I was disappointed. When my first child was born, I had to fight with her mother, and I still didn't get to name her what I wanted to name her. So she named her what she wanted to name her, and that was that. And it ain't men that be disappointed. I wasn't hoping I had a son. I was happy I had her. I was real happy. But she probably thought she was going to have a son, and her baby would be on the street. So I don't know. Really. Because that's another situation. You got a famous name, people sometimes they can't get that. They can't see you past that famous name. So my father told me, and he said, I didn't name none of y'all. But I could tell what he said. He didn't say it in the way I just said it. If I think real hard and stick and quiet my mind, I probably can say it and sound just like him when he said it. But I knew what he was saying. I think what he was saying, that he was disappointed that he didn't get to name the majority of his children, not all. Because I know some of my children, I don't know what my brothers and sisters, I don't know what their name was at first. But I have a feeling that he named them or had something to do with it. If we ask their mothers are here, he ain't here. So they probably would be passionate about telling you how wrong I am that he did name them. But I know what he told me. But I also know what he told the entire community, which is exactly what Brother Alfred said. I was in school, maybe about the third or fourth grade, I'm not sure. And he changed his name from Wallace to Warithudeen, and he changed my name and named me Warithudeen Mohammed. So when he was telling me that, I was an adult at the time, so it kind of hurt me at first. I was like, that he didn't name me, then I didn't think at the time, because your emotions, your passions will block your intelligence, really. That's why Allah wants peace. You know why our religion is peace? Everything about our religion is peace. Greed is peace, our religion is peace, everything is peace. Because the human being cannot reach its potential spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, or anything with disturbance. It's like the water. The water sits still, and that life won't take hold. The life of the human soul won't make progress until that water is still. Then it takes root, then it germinates, and then it takes root. You see? So the human being is exactly the same way. If you have things that are disturbing your good peace and your good nature, you miss. That's why you have people that soar at college and they breeze through school and get doctor's degrees and all of that. That's because they're focused, and either because of sheer will or they love the knowledge that they're getting and they hunger for it. So their soul is at peace, and what they're going after, they get it. But if you're not at peace, something will be right in front of your face and you won't see it. So it wasn't immediately that I realized that he named me Warithudeen. He wasn't saying I named me Warithudeen, because he was so important to me in life. He was at home. I didn't wait till my father came home from work like most fathers, or most fathers these days come back and visit, and then go back home to their real home, and then come back and visit. That's real. But that's Shaitan that's done that. That's not our fault. The devil's been working on us since he brought us over here, trying to keep us and stay servitude and keep the wicked that will oppress us. Because we both, Imam Muhammad said that they just as messed up as we are. The oppressor is just as messed up as the oppressed. And it's obvious because none of us are living our potential and what Allah created us. So that state of peace is so important for our growth. But Satan seeks to over-occupy our lives with fear. Satan's main strategy is fear. And Imam Muhammad said, I ain't saying that y'all ain't never heard. He said fear of poverty, fear of loss, of love, of power, of attention, of just fear of losing something that you hold dear to. That's why we should have faith and trust Allah. And I kind of put a spin on it and I say, well, that's why Muslims are forbidden to gamble, because faith is an attribute that gamblers use to give them the courage to take that risk. But because you're a believer, you should take the risk knowing that you might not gain any profit. You know, when you help your brother. Your brother's down there and say, man, last time I helped him in that last project he had, you know, I still didn't get that money back. And he looked worse than he did last time. But if Allah shows you a sign where you should help them, you shouldn't hesitate. That's why I tell my children. I said, when it comes to doing what's right or what's good, because like my son, I told him the other day, I called him, I said, son, you left and you didn't see me in the house. And he got a younger brother and sister. I said, brother, I see you and not Allah sees you. And I said, when you do wrong, Allah knows it. And you know it, and so you feel guilt. So you don't want to have that. So that guilt is another thing. It's just like fear. When you're walking around with guilt, it stops you, blocks you from receiving the communication that Allah did. That's why I didn't interrupt him. He said, Allah is speaking to him right now. He said that, Imam Muhammad said that. I wasn't there. I don't know if he said that. He never said Allah was speaking to me right now. But if he were to say it, because I know him, I know Imam Muhammad said that when your will is in line and such in obedience with Allah, that your actions will become as if your hand is doing is Allah doing the work that you're doing. And so Allah is doing that. And if you're a Muslim and if you're an educated believer, you know that all good is from Allah. So everything that we do good, you're a fool if you take credit for it, because that's going against your own nature. It's not your nature to not knowing anything about your origin, but bearing witness. We're witnesses to the great majesty and power of Allah. Because we're animals just like the cat, the dog, the rat, the monkey, the bear. Why are we superior to it? My little boy, when he was 2, he got degree in engineering now. He was a little guy. He looked at me, might have been 2 or 3, and said, "Dad, I'm sure glad I'm not a cat." He said, because a lot, so that was him acknowledging his superiority over things that are not human. And as human beings, that's our greatest power, is to try to be at peace and have faith. We supposed to believe that doing good, even if that don't be no fool, and then they blame me and say, "Well, I saw opportunity, so I mortgaged my house and I did this." You're a damn fool if you do that. And then just give it to charity and say Allah's gonna give it back. Or if you truly believe that Allah is going to bless you and give it back, you shouldn't hesitate. But don't do it as a hypocrite. And most hypocrites don't even know they're hypocrites. That's the first thing they do. They say, "I'm going to go do this good," knowing it's going to be bad. Then they can go and try to give the people of faith a black eye by saying, "You see what happened to me, man? You should never do that." So we got to be sincere. We have to trust Allah completely, obey Allah, and be rational. He gave the greatest gift Allah gave us is our human intellect. You know what's going to happen as a consequence of you doing A, B, C, and D. So why the hell are you even stuck into over A? I don't get it. People do it all the time. They know the consequences. They say, well, it's a good thing. I wanted to do something good. Now you're a devil and you want to influence some innocent person into thinking that good is bad. Yeah. The devil do that all day. I witnessed it my entire life. People would put, and I used to pray to ask Allah to give me power because I was a witness. I would see my father see the evil that nobody saw, halal, I mean straight halal, or sumo chop that sucker's head off and destroy it, and kill the roots and everything and never come back to life. I mean, so calm. Almost like a Zen. I used to watch Kung Fu movies a lot. Almost like one of them Zen masters or some Kung Fu masters. He would deal with that evil, and that person didn't even know they just been dealt with. But they dealt with it. And some of them, you see him just, when he first came to office, man, he was chopping heads like a maniac. But he had to. And you would see some people who go crazy. I see same people that had stature, high, honorable, respectful people. Next time you see them, they like a nut walking in the street. You know, they can't say an intelligible word cannot come out their mouth because they put themselves more important than Allah. And they self-interest more important than Allah. So they go crazy. And some of them never come back. Some of them hide it. A lot of hypocrites hide their true self. But you say something too true to them, too plain, you see it come right back out. I can see they crazy come right back out. And it's a shame. But we have to be strong. We are the strong. Because we're the faithful. We're the true believers. And nobody can turn us away from Allah and turn us away from the truth. But that's the key to our salvation, the key to our success, is that we have to be strong like Imam Muhammad and deal with evil the way he did, the way Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah instructed the Prophet to deal with evil with beautiful preaching and wisdom, right? Wisdom and beautiful preaching. So when you see an evil, you don't address it with evil. You don't address it with hostility and aggression and violence. That just makes the devil happy. But you also don't keep your mouth shut. You don't allow it to continue. And how do you do that? If you can't stop it with your hand, but hey, wait a minute. You have a right to stop an evil with your hand. If somebody doing something wrong, and if you can't do that, then you're supposed to say something. You know, speak against it. Speak something beautiful, something rational, something logical, something sensible, because we're human beings. And no matter how crazy a person looks, that truth will touch their heart, even if their mind is too messed up to receive it. So you speak that truth to them. And then if you're like a prisoner or somebody behind bars, and that evil is coming from somebody that has mastery and power, complete power and control of your life, they can take your life, you know, at a whim, then at least be against it in your heart. You know, you can know if I look at him, he's gonna knock my teeth out. But be against it in your heart, and allow it to eventually give you the strength and the power to overcome and defeat that evil. And sure there's millions of people that can tell you that that's exactly how they are. A human being should not, is not, the Muslim is